Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Monday, and the market has bounced just a little bit, but we've moved from a uptrend to a correction. Market was on Friday. We had a pretty much of a down day, and we went from a market uptrend under pressure to a market in correction. So today we are in a market in correction. So here's the thing. I unloaded two of my positions. Wow, can you believe that? And I'm still in two stocks. It bounced a little bit today. We were green on both of those stocks, but yeah, just let's get into it. Basically, the Fed is going to be it's going to come tomorrow, and about 75%, 84% of the traders out there are saying basically we're looking at least a 75 basis point move on the Fed funds rate, possibly as much as, I guess, a point. So that would be pretty amazing. 16% of this. 16% of the traders say it's going to be 100 points. So it's going to either be a three. It's either going to be 3/4 of a percent or a percent full rise in interest rates. And this will be very detrimental to several sectors of the economy, as we all know. Of course, this is to combat inflation, but unfortunately, it's killing the market for certain things. One of them being home building. There's a tremendous overhang right now of unbuilt, unfinished homes, homes that are half finished that are waiting for parts and stuff like that. They're just going to sit there. So it's kind of a mess, and I do expect it to be. I don't think it's catastrophic, but it's just not. It's just more of the same kind of not that great news. So let's get into the action here today. Basically, we were up a little bit on the Dow. Not bad, zero point zero 0.09, not a whole lot. Pretty minimal when it comes to that. The S&P was up, about zero point zero 0.06, not a lot either. Nasdaq was up zero point zero 0.08. So basically a flat day, but an up day. I'll take it. But essentially a flat day. Basically, the Bears versus the Bulls here. We've had a little bit of a pullback in terms of the bear sentiment, but the Bears are still in control right now, 28% to compared to the Bulls. Well, I guess not quite totally in control, to about 32%. So it's kind of mixed. What the writers are saying out there. These are the financial writers that basically do this. But it's getting a little bit more bearish. What I did, I'm about 95% in cash currently. I put out some stuff to the members. By the way, if you're already on the list, great. But if you want to get on the free action trade alerts, just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor, and that's where we go. Now I'm only in two stocks: Petrobras, PBR, and that was up today. And also Cheniere LNG, that was also up today. So let's first of all take a live chart look at PBR, and this is one that I did talk about a little bit about in the email that I just sent out in the afternoon hour, and so let's switch it over here on TikTok. Here we go. Basically, it was up today. It's about 3.21%. It basically came right up to the 21-day moving average and got some strength there, which is great. I do think it's likely to go higher. It's basically been flat after hours. Now, this is a Brazilian company, so this is an ADR, which means that this actually trades on the exchange in Sao Paulo, but it trades as ADR, American Depository Receipts, in New York. So this is a truly interesting stock, I believe. It's a stock that of course I own, but very interesting stock in that it has very, very high. It's a very low PE ratio. It's about a 2, which is pretty much amazing because it's returning about 50% of the value of the stock every year. So amazing in terms of dividends. Let's kind of switch over to the dividend and just kind of show you that what's going on there. And this isn't. It's it's really a little bit extended. Let's kind of. I'm gonna. What I'm doing is I'm moving the for TikTok people here, just to kind of show them sort of where we're at in terms of um, in terms of the funds here. And so basically, the situation here is that with PBR, it's about 9% owned by funds, and it's about 9% owned by funds, which isn't a lot, but they've been increasing. In March of 2022, there were 469 funds in, and then just as of late, 486. Now, interestingly enough, their sales have been going up by double digits every quarter for the last year, up 77%, 67%, 95%, 46%. And interestingly enough, their profits, and that's really the key here, their profits were up significantly this last quarter, 111% quarter over quarter. So potentially coming into coming into 2022, they're looking at approximately an 80%, 83% in profitability for 2000 and for 2022. Now they're saying that it's gonna pull down in 2023, but we're not there yet. The yield on this issue, believe it or not, is 45.6%, with essentially an 8x turnover. Pretty amazing when you think about it. It's a fairly volatile stock because it's relatively low priced, but it does have a lot of debt too. It does about 100% debt. But it's an interesting stock in that it's in the top. Its relative strength is very, very strong. The relative strength on this one, basically a 98. I guess, yeah, it's a 99, excuse me. So this is the top 1% of all the stocks currently. Normally, I don't go for big PE stocks like this, but in this environment where it's a kind of a show me environment, people want profits and they want them now. This one is doing fairly well. So, can we buy it here? Well, let's take a look to see if we could do it. I'm going to just kind of move my camera once again over here to the to the box and kind of give you a look see on where we're going on that. So let's take a look at the checklist on this one. I think it's a still no, it's an 89. It was 100% on Friday. It was 100% checklist. Currently, the checklist on this one is an 89%. The only thing it's really failing on is the earnings per share, more than 80% a year over year, and I think it's going to exceed that this year, depending on where it's going through. But basically, what happened was the stock basically got support at, at the 21-day line, and it's been moving higher since. So, can we buy it here? Well, I would be a little bit concerned. It's pulled back. So this, the problem with this market, buying really anything in this market, is that the overall market is in a downward trend, and so buying this, you could probably start nibbling here. I wouldn't probably buy any more than a half position. I probably wouldn't buy a full position here. It just doesn't. I don't think it adds up based on the overall market condition. Again, I've been trimming I've been trimming my stock, and I'm really down to just very little. But the overall market unfortunately is moving lower, so that's a kind. The relative is high because the rest of the market has fallen. So not an easy place to look. Let's also look at LNG. This is the liquefied natural gas company. They actually liquefy these. They actually liquefy the natural gas in two locations: Sabine Pass, Louisiana, and Corpus Christi, Texas. This has been doing quite well. It was up about 5% today. Basically, it's continuing to be strong even in a weak market. As you'll notice, there was a lot of volume that came in on Friday. As the rest of the market was going down, people were buying this one. And this has a 98 relative strength. So this is in the top 2% of all shares right now. out there. So pretty strong when it comes to that. Let's look at the checklist on this one. Uh, this also has an 89 checklist, a little bit down from Friday, but still extremely strong and good on that. And also, if we look at some of the fundamentals on this, we've been looking at let's move on over here to the fundamentals on this one to kind of give you an idea of sort of where we're at in terms of the fundamentals and what we're looking at. Um, what we're looking at in terms of this stock. The sales this year have been up 100% or more each quarter, so that's indeed very, very strong. This is one of the reasons why, even in this market, I like this stock because we've had these just very, very strong quarters. Starting a year ago, up 119%. This is the sales, 135%, 142%, 165%. In a market that basically where everything else is losing, this one's winning. Now, one of the things also that I always check on is the amount of funds. Now, 51% of this stock is owned by funds. So that's something that we got to look at. They've been going up as well. As of late, we've had 1,785 funds in it. So it's really, really strong. Last quarter, we turned the corner and we started to make some real profit. They had been in a sort of a losing position, but now it looks like they're going higher. And there was some talk that they're going to be buying back their shares. So kind of a strong. It's been very, very strong for Cheniere. So hopefully it will move higher. It's a little extended. I probably wouldn't buy any more here. I'd like to I kind of wish it would pull back a little bit. Let's go to the daily chart so that I can show you where I would be buying. I've been buying this. I've been accumulating it, but right now, in terms of where we're at, it's just not. It's a little bit extended, so probably not a great place to buy right here. So something that I just wanted to point out here. If you'll notice, it's right at the 21-day exponential moving average. Let's take a look to see. 89 checklist on the technicals. We're 33.25% above that 21-day line. I do think you could buy it here. You could make an argument for buying here, but again, we're in a downward trending market, so be very, very careful. I would not buy a full position. I'd buy maximum half position, but we are at a technical level here where I do think this one is buyable. 98 relative strength on the relative strength. So it's top 2% of all the stocks currently. There was a big sell-off on Friday, but then boom, it came out. The buyers came right back in. So tends to be pretty strong when it comes to that. So that's kind of those are the two stocks that I'm owning. Not very exciting. In the small portfolio, just so you can take a look, I'm mostly in cash, as you can see. Right now, only really have this is in the small portfolio. I really only have a position in Petrobras PBR. That's the Brazilian National Oil Company. So that's really all I have. And then in one of my larger portfolios, I have the position. I have a little bit over a full position in LNG, which of course is Cheniere. So those are the ones that I wanted to kind of highlight here. Let's go to some of the questions. Thank you so much, Charles. Always great to hear from you. April Fed rate looking. Let's see. Leveling off at 4%. Yikes! Not above 5%. I think we're going to get whacked. I mean, I'm not trying to be a pessimist here, but I just think they're going to have to do it. I think they're going to have to get really strong with the rate rise here because there's just nothing else. There's nowhere else to go. I mean, they've really got to be um, in order to get at least a little bit of a break on inflation. They're gonna need to be they're gonna need raising it. I'm actually old enough to remember when this was happening to Paul Volcker. I actually This ended actually my career in real estate. Many years ago, I was a realtor, believe it or not. This was one of the first things I did between high school and college. I did it for about a year, but at the time I was in business. It was 10.5%. That was the best rate that you could get. Basically, you could only sell to people that had government jobs because they were the only ones that the banks would take. So it was very, very tough. It was very, very tough. And this, you know, of course, that was much higher than it's going to be. But I think we're going to see 5.5, 6% potentially before this is over, and that's the Fed funds rate. Of course, the mortgages will be higher. So this is probably going to really kill the real estate market, and it's going to be tough. I mean, I'll be this time. It's going to be kind of difficult out there. All right, Charles is looking at Exxon Mobil. Great stock, by the way. For years, this is just for 110 years, this has been a winner. Now it's pulled down a little bit. It's pulled down a little bit today. It's come up down to the 50-day line in a cup and handle. And I probably wouldn't buy it here. I would wait for the reversal. But let's take a look at the for everybody on TikTok. Let's kind of take a look at the action on ExxonMobil. Comes here with a cup, nice handle. I'm going to draw a trend line there. So we're below the trend line. We're bouncing off the 50-day moving average. Now, in can slim trading, what you're looking for is you're looking for these base patterns. Now, my pattern recognition is showing this here. This is a cup with handle. This is probably one of the better patterns. Typically, what will happen is the stock will come up to a peak. In this case, 105. 67. That happened basically back here in June, and then it will retrace. It'll come all the way down, and then it will start. And then as the sellers, as the weekends get taken out, then and people refuse to sell, then it will start to make its move back up. And then typically, what will happen is it'll come up to a secondary peak, as you can see. And the secondary peak is at 101.65, and then it will treat again, and it forms this handle. Now, what's good about this is it's kind of like a spring load. This is kind of like cocking a trigger. Typically, what you're going to see is it'll come down, pull back like that. You'll see some volume action coming in. Now, this is selling, but what will happen is typically that's where it will reverse. Now, in a stronger market, I would probably be a buyer here in a stronger market, but I'm a little gun shy right now as the overall market is moving lower. So chart, this is poised for reversal. It's not ready yet. 89 checklist on this, so it's very strong and look pretty good. The question is, where will it reverse? Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move over to the to the daily chart here again, and look at where that 21-day line is. Typically, this is where I like to trade off of. I like to look at the technicals here and look to see where that 21-day line is. I like to trade within 5% of this line, and definitely it is. It's a little bit lower than that. It's 1.84% below that 21-day line. So even though it hasn't made a reversal yet, I suspect it will. Why? Because that typically is where it's going to get support. And it definitely did get some support. If we go over to the 5-minute chart, you'll see that right at the end of the day, we're starting to see a little bit of a movement up. And also at the end of the day, people are buying it at the end. The day traders are getting washed out, and the people that are willing to hold it overnight are coming in. So very strong, definitely in a good category. It's in the oil and gas integrated area, and in a weak market, these companies like this have the sales. So if you're interested in this, I would wait till tomorrow. Let's see if it reverses off that 21-day line. If it does, you want to buy it probably right at about the 21-day line, about 94, 95, or about 95. So 95 would probably be a great entry point if you get a reversal. So if it moves above 95, that's probably where I would look possibly to buy it. So for ExxonMobil, XOM, if it moves above 95, then possible. And the reason that you want to do it like that and not just buy it, obviously on the dip. Everyone says buy on the dip. I'm not a believer in buying on the dip, and the reason is because who knows when that dip is going to end. So it can dip and then it can continue to dip even more. So you want to buy it as it reverses. I do think that that's probably gonna happen right at about 95. That's oops, I said XON. It's XOM. I gotta get this right. It's XOM is ExxonMobil. I think it's viable if it moves above 95 because it'll bounce right off. Hopefully, it'll bounce right off that line with this cup and handle formation. So that's something I'd be looking at. We've still got a good amount of time until earnings. Earnings are about 39 days in advance. So we definitely have time uh, coming into earnings. You don't want to buy too close to earnings uh, because you can get nasty reversal. That's looking fairly good. So ExxonMobil, definitely like it. I would be at, I would be probably trying to buy it above 95. All right, we have a question from Tech Talk. It's looking for MGPI. I don't know that symbol. Let me look at that correctly. MGPI and see kind of what's going on there. And there we go. MG. Oh, it's ingredients. I'd like this company. Yeah, yeah. I'm not. I think this is kind of like Darling. Yeah, distiller ingredients for. Okay. So I like this as an alcohol producer. This is interestingly enough. There's really nothing super exciting about this area, but it came down and it's doing fairly well. And let's interestingly enough. So Darling, okay, I wanna look at this, compare this to another stock that I know in this industry, so let's look at that really quick. Okay, so there we go there. Boy, that's a good chart. Oh, right, see if I can move it over there. Hold on, I got it. There we go. Alright. Sometimes I don't get it. There we go. Alright. So this is the chart of, um, the ingredients company. Let's see if I can oh, let's see. My windows are I don't know if I'm yeah. Am I in there? Oh. Oh, okay. Well, it'll come up here. Lost my win oh, there we go. So now we should be seeing it. Some reason I closed my window. Yeah, there we go. All right. So there we go. All right. A little bit of a adjustment problem on my Mac. It didn't quite take information properly. So let's go in back in. Okay, come on. There we go. All right. Some reason I've got things doubled up here.